Hello. Welcome once again. In this video series, we will see what Niagara is and how to use the Niagara system for creating excellent VFX. In the earlier videos in this series, we have learned how to attach the material dynamic parameters in the Niagara effect. In this video, we are going to talk about Niagara basic shapes and their various alterations in Unreal 5. Please like this video if you find it helpful and informative, and subscribe to our channel for newer updates and game development tutorials. So let's start. We'll right-click Effects and we are going to create a Niagara emitter from a basic template and we will give it the name FX_shapes. Then we'll open it up. Now there are a few adjustments in Windows. There we go, this is all set up and the idea of shapes and surfaces. So that you can spawn particles on a shape or surface. And the way that we can access those in the particle spawn. It may seems deceptive at first. But they're located in location. Now the shapes that we're talking about specifically are box, cone, cylinder, sphere and torus. Now, let's go to particle spawn, and here we are going to look for various shapes and spawning locations. Now select box location, sphere location, cone location and cylinder location. Now delete the unnecessary modules like drag, gravity. So let's start with the box location. Here we are. You can see the particles are spawning in the form of cube. Okay, let's do some modifications to the spawn rate and particle size. Click on the plus sign and that's we're going to go to the emitter update and we're going to add a spawn rate. We are going to set this spawn rate to something like 1000. And then the next thing we want to do is look at initialize particle and in the sprite size mode, we are going to change this to uniform, and we are going to change the size to 5. So the particles are a little bit smaller. Now as an example, if we click on the box location, we should see that, right away all these particles are adhering to the box shape. And let's play with this. We'll see that they're just all spawning within that box shape. If we want to make this more of a rectangle, we can do that. The options that we have available here are quite straightforward, they're quite simple. If we want to offset this, we want to move it away from 0. Now, we are going to look at the sphere location, so we can change the radius. And right away you'll see that the particles adhere to a sphere for the most part. This is kind of similar to the box, right? We can offset it, we can scale it. Below there is non-uniform scale, you can play around with it, and that gives absolutely different noticeable shape. And the sphere orientation, with sphere shape this won't be noticeable, however skewing will give some noticeable effect. Now next is distribution. Now we'll take a look at the sphere hemisphere distribution. But we have hemispheres, so if we want to cut our sphere in half, so we can do that depending on the hemisphere that we want. The next thing that we have is surface and band thickness. If we turn this on, our particles are going to add just to the surface of that sphere. And now we are going to do the cone. So going through the options that we have cone angle. So we can play around with the length and angle. That's simple. And then we have this axis. But we can rotate this. Put it on a weird axis, whatever you want. Point distribution, this is basically whether or not you want it like this, or if you want it with the end cap. So as you move this, you'll see that this is fading away and cutting off the top. Leave that at 0 and then we can also offset this. There is some shaping here. So if we turn on enable wedge, this is going to make a wedge shape, right? So it's not round, it's squared off. And then we also have flattened end caps. Now what's cool about all of the shapes are that you can use parameters and dynamic parameters with it. Even though they're in particle spawn, you can update them. You can animate them with emitter update. So the next option is cylinder. Here it's simple. Height and radius, which can modify the size of the cylinder. And then comes the orientation. Choosing here the X or Y or Z axis can make the cylinder face the respective direction. Then is the hemisphere X and Y, selecting that can give particles emitting that hemisphere and give a half-filled effect. Then comes the lathe profile, a very important tool. Let's see the curve. Here the key point is at the center, which gives a bulging effect in the middle of the cylinder. The more you alter the position of the key point, the bulge moves. The size of the bulge can be determined by the height of the key. The more you add key points, the more you can create the variation in the cylinder. Okay, after cylinder, it is torus. In the torus mode, there are 3 options. Torus, torus knot and ring. All of them have different implications. First select the torus knot. This looks like this. Ring is flat planar. Now altering the outer radius and inner radius, you can alter the ring size and inner hole size. Torus axis orientation will change the orientation in the local space. Under torus knot, there are helix loop and knot ring loop. Altering increases the number of knots and you can create more complex shape. The last one we want to show here is grid location. It's very simple. You can alter the particle that emits under a certain grid formation. This can be done through dimensions definition and padding per cell. And also in the emitter update, we get automatically the grid formation. Here you can define the particle counts in various dimensions. So there's a lot of options here. There's a lot of flexibility with these shapes. We encourage you to go through and play with these different shapes and try out all options. Hope this video helps you to initiate your journey into the creative world of Niagara. Thanks a lot. See you in the next video.